So, I made a post yesterday in my community tab about the fact that we re-signed Devin Cochran. And a lot of people got confused. A lot of people, hey, like, who is this guy? Is this a big deal? Does this mean Jonah Williams is gone? What does this mean for us moving forward? Well, I want to go ahead and make a video, kind of clarify everything and kind of break down everything and talk about what this means and what this doesn't mean. Starting off right away, who is Devin Cochran? Well, kind of going to my community post yesterday, I want to read this snippet to really break this down. Cochran was a second year player in 2024 who originally was a college free agent signee of the Cincinnati Bengals in 2022. He spent his rookie season on the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad, then spent the 2023 campaign on the IR list with a knee injury. Weighing 6'7", 310 pounds, Cochran played at Vanderbilt from 16 to 19. He redshirted as a true freshman in 2016, and then started 32 games for the Commodores from 2017 to 2019. After sitting out because of COVID, shortened the 2020 season, Cochran played his final college games at Georgia Tech in 2021 and was honored All-ACC mention, starting 12 games at left tackle. Entering the 2022 NFL Draft, he was projected to be a 7th-round pick / priority free agent. Now, Devin Cochran was put on the IR as of July 30th of last year. So he was out for the season. He never played an NFL snap before. He's never been in the NFL before. He literally was potentially going to be in the NFL, and then he got hurt, and then COVID happened, and all this other crap, right? What does this mean for us? Guys, and I can't stress this enough, this is a depth piece signing. This has nothing to do with Jonah Williams. If anything, he played left tackle in college. So you would say this is more or less could be a indication, if he starts playing really good football, that Cody Ford could be eventually replaced. But for Jonah, this has nothing to do with Jonah, has nothing to do with us potentially drafting a right tackle in the draft, or potentially even going and signing a right tackle in free agency. Well, yes, it is cool that we re-signed him just because it's a 1-year, no-nothing contract pretty much. It really doesn't impact anything at the end of the day. It just really is, hey, listen, this guy has potential. We picked him up for that said reason. He was out because of, injuries. Let's see what we have in him. Kind of like with Jackson Kirkland. Maybe put him in some preseason games. I think that really was the goal this year, was to put him in preseason games and have maybe potentially compete with Jackson Carman, with Jonah Williams at that right tackle position. See what you can get out of him. If you can't get anything out of him, well, you let him go, and that's pretty much that. So, he's never played an NFL snap. So, again, like I said, I'm only making this video because I know a lot of people were kind of confused about this guy. They don't remember this guy, and I don't blame you. There's not really much about him. He came to the NFL, signed with the Bengals in 2022. Well, actually, signed with the Bengals, and then went ahead and done. Well, he signed with the Bengals practice squad. And then he got hurt, and he's never played an NFL snap. So, again, like I said, this, if anything, is going to be depth purposes. But this also means if, let's say, for example, we go into the preseason this year, and he starts looking good. He starts looking good in training camp. In, preseason week 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a potential that he could be a starter behind Orlando Brown? I'd say a starter. But as a backup left tackle behind Orlando Brown? Absolutely. They're always looking to find another guy they can have to potentially become a superstar for them, right? You're always looking for talent that you can elevate to the starting roster and give yourselves the best chance to win. And you have to keep in mind that now the season's over, 53-man roster is no longer a thing. We're going to start talking about the 70-man roster, 90-man roster as we get closer and closer to training camp and the preseason. Now, I believe I believe it's 90 men, right? 90 men now because of the fact that COVID, it was 70 man. Let me just double check this. 70 man. I believe it was 70 man to 90 man because of COVID. Because now you have to have more NFL spots because players could get sick. Alright, 53-man roster. Ooh, I don't see any... Wait, hang on, no. Let me put 70-man to 90-man roster. Hold up. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. Well, actually, it said NFL increased offseason limit to 90-man as of 2012. So it might not be COVID-related at all. I thought it was COVID-related. It might... No, I think COVID-related was based on, I think, the IR, if I believe so correctly. Anyway, so my whole point is, it's a 90-man roster. So as we get closer and closer, you're going to see players potentially just get signed for simple purposes of you have a 90-man roster. And you can, try out pretty much everyone. Because at the end of the day, what are you losing if you sign a player to a 1-year, no-nothing contract? He goes out there, he's not a good player, he sucks, he's trash. Guess what? Free agency. Go find somebody else. When you have a 90-man roster, I mean, that's, 37 more spots than you have on your 53-man roster. You could sign anybody. You could sign a guy who, maybe just picked up a football for the first time ever, but the guy's like 6'9", I don't know, 300 pounds, and he's all muscle. Just see how he plays. Maybe he plays good, maybe he plays bad. You're not really sacrificing anything by picking up these guys. So at the end of the day, we're going to see this over the next couple weeks, months, all the way up to the regular season of next year. So just keep that in mind if we do sign somebody, and I will talk about it and try my best to convey it in my community post. But if you see us sign anybody over the next couple months, right, and you might say, that's questionable. Unless we give them an actual contract, take it as a grain of salt. Unless we give them like a 2-3-year contract or guaranteed money. And I will be covering a lot of these. But unless we give them an actual worthwhile contract, just take it as grain of salt because we're going to have a 90-man roster. And we're going to be cutting a lot of players. And honestly, a lot of these guys we're signing, they might not be even on the roster for more than a week or two, or a month, or 2 months, right? We might not see Devin Cochran here on the roster as of, the end of July, which is way before the season even starts. So we might see, okay, well, before July's even over, this guy's off the roster, he's cut. And you're like, well, why did we sign him? We signed him because it's not guaranteeing anything, we don't have to give up anything, and in return, we see if he's a good player. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're always doing as an NFL team. You're always evaluating players, evaluating competition, evaluating prospects to see what they can give you. You never know who's going to be the next guy. Especially some players work in some systems, some players don't work in other systems. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.